Yeah. Right. Me, you, opinions. Here we go. It's like, today? I apologize. Excuse me for a moment. Sorry, I just chugged Dr. Pepper. And now everything hates me. Right. So, in this one I'm going to be talking about my opinions. Well, obviously you read the title, but my opinions on the school uniform policies. Specifically my school ones, because I don't know about any other school ones, and why they're stupid. First thing I want to talk about is the uniform as a whole. Like, I get some reasons for having a school uniform, like it's meant to make us all look equal, we don't have to worry about what to wear, we don't have to spend more money on clothes, even though the school uniform is bloody expensive. Which is why I don't have half my school uniform. I don't wear the school bottoms they asked me to wear, I don't wear the shirts. Like, I'm this close to not using the bag because I stabbed a hole in it. But like, I get the whole reason of having it, but it just doesn't feel like me when I'm wearing a school uniform. It feels like someone else that I hate. And another thing I don't like is things that just don't affect your learning at all. Like, for example, pierced ears and dyed hair. Those are two things that I think you can all agree are a big no-no in school. Because, like, you're allowed dyed hair if it's dyed to a colour that is deemed natural. Which, how are they determining that? Like, if you dye your hair bright orange, they can't exactly turn around and say that's not a natural colour, because some people are born with that kind of hair. Anyways, right. It's not like, and pierced ears as well. I can see how that could get in the way of like the physical education side of things, because that could be like a health hazard, because you could like catch on something or catch on someone else, have it ripped out. That would hurt, could get infected, that kind of thing, you know. But for everything, all other sides of school, I don't see how it affects your learning whatsoever. Shoes as well. I don't see how, like, what shoes you're wearing affects your education. Because, like, back on the topic of, like, dyed hair and that. Because people say that, like, oh, when the inspectors come in, they're going to see that and think we're unprofessional. No, they don't, and I'll tell you how I know. Because when the Ofsted inspector came into our school, not the school I'm at currently, my last school, we were in the hall doing PE at the time, and he went up to one of the students that had dyed hair and was just like, oh, this is really fun, I like your hair. And the head teacher came over and said, yeah, but we're hoping to get it out soon, right? Just like giving daggers to this student through her eyes. And the inspector was just like, oh, that's a shame, I really enjoy it. Which is just proof it doesn't matter what we look like. They put more effort into our appearance than they do into our education. I am convinced of that. Because I have been told more times that I need to tuck my shirt in, fix my tie up, all that. I've been told to do that more times than I've been told to pay attention. Because I pay attention about as much as I pay attention to the uniform. I don't. Because not only is the uniform stupid, because I'm like, and on the topic as well, because people say that, oh, we need a uniform because otherwise everyone's gonna like have the piss taken out of them, but for like not having certain clothes and that. No, they won't. Because not everyone is that much of an absolute arsehole. Not everyone is. It's like, then parents will have to go spend money on clothes. Yeah, they were gonna have to do that anyway because the school uniform is expensive as hell. And especially when they rebrand the whole school, meaning you have to buy another set of uniform, which they did give to us, but we had to get it exchanged like 3 times because nothing fit. Like, I was queued up like during lunch hours at school trying to exchange my uniform for about an hour because everyone else was there as well, because like they got none of our sizes right, even though they said give us the size that they are now, we'll add some size onto it so like, you know, it will still fit in September. No, it didn't. They gave us the size we put on there and it didn't fit. Surprise, surprise. I wonder bloody why. Oh, it's ridiculous. Right. Oh, what was I gonna say? Right, yes. Because like the school, like our school is obsessed with like making us look good, which I can understand how you'd want your students to look good, but it's like they want us all to like look smart and that, but surely they want us to, you know, be smart. It's like surely that would make more sense to want for, you know, the future of our country, for them to be intelligent. But if you're putting all your efforts and resources into rebranding the school to make them look good, because like our school recently got rebranded, they spent the price of God knows how many iPhones on painting over the school. And you know what's even sadder? We had a star in our school's name, but now we don't have that anymore because we changed the name. We lost a star, damn it. No, I have to. Yeah. It's ridiculous the things that the things they'll do just to make us look good. The things I don't get. And I'm not quite sure I ever will get, because, you know, it all just seems a bit ridiculous. It's like people say like we have a uniform. Another reason people say we have a uniform is like, oh, we're representing people outside our school, make us look good. A, I've just been through the looking good thing, and B, then why do we have to wear it inside of school? We're not representing to anyone inside the school. The only people we're representing to inside of the school is each other, and we all don't care as much as each other. It's not like one of us is just sat there just like, oh, I hate this uniform, and one of us is just like, no, I think it's really fashionable. It's quite flashy. It's really in style these days. No. And like, cause like the previous uniform my school had was like a maroon blazer. It was not a very pretty color. Not a very pretty color at all. I did not appreciate it. And like another thing we had was we had clip-on ties instead of, you know, actual ties, because a lot of us couldn't tie ties. Because apparently it's very difficult. No, it isn't. But when our school rebranded and changed its name and that, we got actual ties. And one of like this is how bad like people think the behavior in our school is. They had to give out an official like warning saying if someone tries to like pull your tie and strangle you, this is what you have to do. The fact that they have to say that just shows that they have no faith in our students, and that is the whole reason they rebranded, because our school had a terrible reputation for like behavior in that. Oh damn it. Like our grades weren't great, like our behavior wasn't great. We had, because the previous head teacher of my school told us a story of how they got into a cab once, and someone from our school crossed the road at a crossing, I might add, doing perfectly innocent things. And the cab driver said, yeah, I recognise that school, insert name of school here. Apparently, like, they didn't know there was the head teacher of that school in the back of their car. So they just said, oh, I haven't heard good things about that school. Like, terrible behaviour, terrible students come out of that school. And I was just sat there like, who was it that was crossing the road? Because like, you cannot like judge the whole of our school just because of like a few students you've had a bad experience with. That's not okay. Because a lot of us aren't like that, you know. Like some of us like genuinely like knuckle down, do the work. But it's just some people that are ruining it for the rest of us, to be honest. And to be honest, I'm becoming one of them people, because I don't care about the uniform. I don't. Like, I will go to school, shirt untucked. I'll wear the tie though. because I cannot be bothered with putting a tie on at school. Because I know I'm going to get picked up on it. They're really cracking down on the uniform right now, though, I'll tell you that. Because, apparently, uniform is more important than our whole bloody education. And I just don't understand. I just don't understand why they've done some of the things that they've done. All in the efforts of making us look better on our CVs. Because, like, if they, in their heads, if people looked on our CVs and saw the name of that school that we went to, they would automatically assume us as no good. And that would subsequently lead to us getting rejected from that school, and it, you know, being bad publicity for them. But I don't think this was the best way to solve that, like completely whitewashing the school, getting like new reputation, everything, because it hasn't worked. To be fair, ever since COVID happened, our school has been so much better. I've been actually learning. Imagine that. I learned. Because back when I was in like year 7, everything was terrible. Like my friend had to leave the school because he was getting bullied that badly. It was terrible. But there are still things they could have done. Like they could have. Oh, I don't know. I'm not meant to be coming up with good ideas here. I'm not meant to be. I could come up with good ideas if I had like a minute to think about it. But like for every pro on an idea, there is a con to go along with it. So I can see why they've done some of the things they've done, because they didn't have much time. Plus, do you know what my school has done? They've invested money in Unifrog, which is like a careers thing that is meant to help you pick out your like careers for the future and like help you decide what you're going to do with your life. But they said that it was extremely expensive to get in on. So why they've done it, I will never know. Because like if they saved all the money they'd spent like entirely rebranding our school and like on educational stuff that no one is going to take anything from because we hate everything and we're teenagers, if they took all the money they'd used on that and spent it on like equipment for the classrooms, which we don't really have, investing it in like better food for the canteen so that people who don't have time to eat breakfast and like don't eat after school and that either, so they can get like a decent meal in. Like, how about that? Like, this is just maybe even like MacBooks for everyone to loan for the year, because it's like at school we had like lockers that we could pay £10 for, get a code, and then when you leave year 11 or the end of the year, I never got a locker, I don't know how it works, but at like the end of the year or something, you would get your £10 back. I think? No, I don't think you would actually. I think you just pay £10, then you get a locker. I think you have to pay £10 every year, I don't really know how it works. But if they did that with like MacBooks, if you like pay £20 at like the beginning of each year to get like a MacBook for the year, and, like have your work on that, and get like a USB drive to put your work on when you have to give it back, I feel like people would get more work done. And people say like, oh no, we shouldn't be going digital because we'll forget how to write. Well, if everything was digital, we wouldn't have to now, would we? People would be able to read more. Because like if books were handwritten, like most people wouldn't be able to read what they were writing, because like adult handwriting is what I'm going to call it, because no child writes like that. Like adult handwriting, like the cursive that they use, no one can read it. The ends look like R's and so on, and I don't understand it. But if everything was digital, everyone can read Times New Roman. It's fine. And yeah, I just think there's so many things they could have done. They could do better about school. And I've just gone on a run about like everything school's done wrong. This was meant to be about the bloody uniform. You know, I think I made my point. I think I made my point. My point is that schools need to learn what they're doing and do it better, because some of the people who work there are not qualified for the things that they do. And I think they just need to, you know, do it better. Quite frankly, because some of them are like, I've been teaching for many years, and how many of them have you been a decent teacher for? None. Thought as much. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh on teachers here, but this is just my opinion as a student of this school who has to do this. Because, like, I respect teachers, I respect the hell out of teachers, but, like, there are some things that they do that they have no right doing. I'm just glad they ain't allowed to beat students anymore. I remember that, there was a time where if your parents signed a permission slip, they could just, like, take out the yardstick and beat you around the hand with it. Like, that's actually mental. That's like, these days people would be calling child abuse, but no, not back then. We were like, no, don't give children rights and don't give them that sort of thing, because then they'll rise up against us. No, we won't. We don't care enough. You're not important enough for that. Yeah, that's pretty much everything that I have to say at this point. I don't have many more opinions than that. I'm gonna think up something. I will think up some new things to moan about in the next video. Because like I kind of got the idea to go on just like mini rants about things from Mr. David Mitchell of all people, his Soapbox series on YouTube, when he just went on like 3-minute rants about everything. But my rants are 20 minutes, or like 15 to 20 minutes. I don't know how long this one is. Probably about 20 minutes right now. So I'm gonna end right here. I'll see you all in the next one, where I'll do something else. Alright, goodbye.